So after 2.5 years, we're finally come to an end on this 85 Silverado right beside me. It's been a long project. It was a little more difficult than what we first anticipated, but it was well worth it. And you might be wondering or thinking, it looks a little different than what it rolled in here like. So we're gonna pick up where we left off on the previous video on this truck and show you how we got it to this point. All right, we're back again today. In this video, we're throwing down some more paint on this 85 Silverado here. You can see, went ahead and we jammed the doors and the cab here already. So later on this video, we'll be hanging the doors on the cab and start getting it ready to paint. But we also have already sprayed the inside of the bed, and we're going to be spraying the outside right now, or here in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm really excited, glad to finally see some paint on this thing. And like I said, we're throwing down some more today. So yeah, and from the last video to this point now, I believe we had everything blocked, didn't we?
I believe so.
I think so. So everything has been primed since then, final prime. Like I said, we're fixing to spray the outside of the bed. It's been blocked and wet sanded. It's ready to paint. But the cab and the doors do still need to be blocked and wet sanded. But really, that's from the last video to this video, we've primed it one more time.
Just, I mean, you physically can't see any difference in it.
It looks exactly the same.
It's just sanding.
But
I mean,
yeah, and we got some paint on. Big hurdle for this thing. Actually, finally getting some paint on it.
yeah, we're on the downhill now.
So hopefully we're on the downhill. And this stuff is actually a lot harder to spray, especially the inside of the bed. That's the hardest part to spray on a truck. So now that we've got that out of the way, it's the bed sides and the cab, it's a lot easier to maneuver around when you're painting it. So super slick. Yeah, and like I mentioned, the inside is white, which I was very happy to see, because I think I made about 10 trips over the inside of that bed. So I'm finally glad to be done with that. So
yeah, definitely most time consuming part of the whole truck, the inside of that bed. I mean,
no, without a question.
You could have done a whole nother truck for the time you spent inside that bed.
Most definitely, and I'm so glad that it's done. So but yeah, these things are, like I said, all wet sanded, ready for paint. Put some tape on it, tape up the inside so we don't get any overspray on it, and that's really all the taping it's going to have. So we are spraying the outside of the bed, the tailgate, both sides, inside and out, so we don't have any tape lines, and then a few odd and end pieces. There's a bumper filler, and we're going to go ahead and spray the cow screen and the
front filler
and the front filler piece that goes between the bumper and the grill. So yeah, all we like is moving this thing over to the booth and start laying down some white paint.
Some Blanco.
Some Blanco, that's right. Queso Blanco.
Queso Blanco.
Fixing to throw down the white cheese on this thing.
Alright, so we got the doors pretty much ready to go back on here for the last time. So door jambs have been painted, the jambs of the truck here have been painted, hood's been jammed, bed's been painted. As you've seen in the first part of this video, we'll walk over and take a look at this bed. And I mean, it looks good. It's straight, it's white, it's shiny. You know, it's been a long time coming on this thing.
It does need a little sand and buff.
Yeah, it's still got to buff it, but you're gonna have that with everything now. You're gonna have to buff it. So
yeah, it is super straight. Thank goodness.
Yep. So I mean, half the truck's painted. The only thing we like is, you know, the cab itself, front end, and really that's it. I mean, one more paint in here and we'll have it done. Painted anyway.
And as you can see, we went ahead and threw the old door rubbers, door gaskets back on here, just to keep the door and the cab from rubbing, because we don't need none of that right now.
Do not want that now.
No. But yeah, like I said, these are the old ones. There are new ones for the truck, so those will be installed at a later date.
Yeah, so you actually have already blocked the doors and the hood too.
Right.
So all we have left to block is the two fenders and the cab.
Yeah, which is not a whole lot of area. Couple hours, have that knocked out and blocked probably. As long as everything goes all right.
Should.
And then we'll be able to get to the wet sanding, which everybody dogs on wet sanding. I actually like wet sanding for, you know.
When you get to the wet sanding point, you know it's like, this is it.
You're close to paint. And that's what I like.
One more time, you're done.
That's actually my second favorite step of the build. The first being when it's actually done.
Yeah.
But yeah, fixing to slap these doors on this thing. And then we got a little more sanding to do for a change. You know, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Going to do some sanding on this truck.
Yeah, because we haven't done no sanding to this point on this truck.
So alright, the last clip y'all seen was us hanging these doors on here. And both sides. Got both of them fitting, shutting really good. I would open them and shut them right now, but we got all plastic up. Because we're fixing to start wet sanding. We have already went ahead and blocked the whole truck. We sprayed it all with guide coat. Blocked it one last time, thank goodness. And after that, blow it off. Guide coat it again for the wet sanding. And what the guide coat is doing, it's making sure, typically it'd be to make sure you get it flat. But right now, wet sanding, it's to make sure we get everything sanded and to get all of our sand scratches out from when we blocked it. We got everything masked off, keep the water out of the inside, off the engine, because the wet sanding can get pretty messy at times, depending on who you have running the water hose. Ain't that right?
That's right.
And this should be the last sanding before paint. Obviously, after it's painted, we will do some sanding and buffing on it just to level everything back out, because you will get some texture from the clear coat. But yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the process, is the wet sanding, because that's when you know you're getting close to paint. And once paint's on it, you're really close.
Downhill from there.
It's downhill.
Long time coming here.
Long time coming. I'm excited. Hopefully we'll be spraying color on this thing tomorrow, which for y'all it'll be in probably about 30 seconds. But yeah, I'm excited. After this, we'll let it dry, untape everything, and then we'll retape everything once it's in the booth. And yeah. So alright, we got this thing all wet sanded, dried off. Went ahead and started taping it last night. Finished up taping it this morning. Well, almost finished. We gotta throw some plastic on the rear frame section here. Keep the overspray off all of it, and a little bit over the engine bay there. But yeah, that and a little bit in the fender wells, but other than that, she's done. But yeah, really happy with how everything blocked out, sanded out. I think it's gonna look super slick. When
it was wet, it looked crisp. You know, everything looked good, straight on it. I mean, it looked good. So
I am super excited to see this thing all white, everything white, one color.
Well, this is where like the year and a half you've been sanding on it and everything starts to like actually see it now. So I mean,
Right, it means we're getting close to the end. So yeah, let's fire this thing up and put it in the booth after a slight rain delay.
It don't rain for a month. Then we go to move this and it rains.
Besides, it's gonna rain 12 inches out here.
So the first two coats we just put on there, that was like more of a ground coverage coat, just to pretty much get everything white. So then now we're gonna mix the actual color to it, which the code on this is 8624 white. It's probably the most generic white from GM. I think it started in 85, so I don't know what the white code was before 85, but yeah, 85 to present day, they still use this color, just solid white. So I'd say like 95% of every GM vehicle with solid white is this color. So pretty popular color too, even to this day still. So for it to be white, you think you just mix a toner just be straight white, but this color actually has like 6 different toners in it. It's got some black, red, blue, and I believe green. Yeah, it's like a green shade. Put all that together. If you get too much of one, you will see it. Like if you overmix one, you'll see it outside, because a white today is really not truly like a straight white. It always has like either a red, blue, or green cast to it usually. So this color, what would you say it leans more toward?
I'm gonna say it's a little more red-blue.
That's what I was thinking, because the blue is the most.
Yeah, it's definitely not a green white.
No, there's a different formula of this color that actually is a green, like a more of a green shade.
A different variant of this.
Yeah,
color.
a different variant that was used at some point. Yeah, it's way more green than this is, but this is the whitest white that GM puts on a vehicle though.
Yeah,
so,
this is really bright white.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get this mixed up. We'll mix 2 cups of this, sprayed at one time because I'll run out halfway through and then have to come mix again. So I'm gonna get this mixed up and we'll spray this and 2 coats of this, then we'll be ready to clear it. We'll tack it off, clear it, check everything, make sure it's all good. So I don't know if we mentioned it or not, everything that has been sprayed on this truck is all PPG products. So from the etching primer all the way up to
the sanding primer,
sanding primer, base coat, clear, everything is a PPG product.
Which that is all we spray here, pretty much is PPG. So
yeah, this system's been here probably at least 10 or 12 years.
At least,
because this is the only system I've ever been around, but I've started mixing paint on this when I was like 10, 11, 12, somewhere through there. That's when we got it, so.
Yeah, you're practically a toddler in here mixing paint.
Close.
What about all the cans that said like keep out of reach of children and stuff like that?
Well, that didn't keep them out of my reach. So
that didn't apply to you?
That didn't apply to me. I had 40 years experience when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, you was out here in the trenches. There's the formula there, which, like you can see it.
I can pretty much tell you that formula without even looking at it now because I mixed that code so many times.
Yeah, we have sprayed a ton of this color in our lifetime here. But we are mixing up 2 cups, which you've seen there on the screen. It said 12 ounces, which by the time you reduce that, it will come out to 24 ounces.
Yeah, it's a 1-to-1 mix, 50-50. So however much paint you mix, you put that much reducer in it. The reducer thins the paint so you're able to spray it through a gun and it not build up that, so thick on there. And, there's 3 different kinds of reducers we got here. We'll be putting this DT870 in a solid color. That's normally what you put in a solid color, average temperature in the air. You know, I'd say 80 degrees is the average temperature. 75, 80, that's about what it is now. So that's like ideal spraying temperature. So if you got a metallic during about that range of temperature, you put the DT 85 reducer in it. And if it's like very hot and humid, you put the 98 reducer in it. Because this stuff tends to, if it's hot and you're spraying it, it wants to dry too quick. So when you go back over it, it'll leave like a fuzzy edge.
Yeah, your overspray will dry on the panel.
Yeah, especially if you're like spraying in a corner or something.
Yeah, and
if it's not a flat panel,
it'll get really fuzzy, and it'll dry before it has time to flow out.
Yeah, so and a metallic, if it's hot, a metallic don't want to lay out or flow out like it should. So you put the higher temperature reducer in it, makes it stay wet longer. That way it won't fuzz up like that.
Right,
pretty much.
It's got time to do its thing.
I'm not saying this is the only line of paint. This is not the only line of paint that's out there. I mean, because this is, I mean, if you're doing it from your perspective, this is a kind of a more expensive line because this is the highest grade solvent-based PPG makes, a Deltron NXT, whatever they're crossing that over there. But I would say though, if you're going to paint something like this, use everything the same brand, or, you know, that family of brand on from primer up to clear, you know, because when you tend to start crossing stuff up like that, you could, some of that stuff like don't go, like it won't agree with each other, you know.
Right, so there could be a chemical reaction between different brands on different products, so it's best to play it safe and use everything from one brand, in our opinion. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's been done. I mean, we've done it before on certain things, but like now, I mean, I would only do this. I mean, but we're in a position where we have to really, because everything we use is this anyway. So
right. I mean, this is all we're using.
And then we've crossed stuff up like that before. It's worked. It's done good. It still holds up. I mean, but if you want to limit your chances of having to, you know, something come back or something happening, I would use everything of the same brand.
Right.
But, you know, every brand has their different lines, you know, from like a base line up to like a higher end. I mean,
which every brand's going to tell you what we just told you to.
Yeah.
They recommend that you use all their stuff, which whether it be to sell you all their stuff or who knows, but
yeah, I mean, it's really your preference. I mean, you can do your research, look at people, talk to people who sprayed that stuff that you're looking at, or so anyway, we're gonna get this over there, get probably 2 coats of this on there, and then tack it off, get ready to clear it, and we'll probably pick back up after it's cleared.
Yeah, let all the fog settle, and we'll
go back in there later on. It's probably, yeah, it'll be later tonight, so we'll do that, pick back up, and it's hopefully the last time this truck
is in that paint booth.
In that paint booth, I hope. 2.5 year project, and that's not 2.5 years straight on it. I mean, in our situation, we have to do collision work before we do stuff like this, so the insurance stuff comes first, and we finally got this thing in here, got it knocked out, and I mean, really, this is a good looking truck.
It is.
And most of the time, you can't see like how much work you put into like a white one. If it's like a darker color, like a black, or like this truck right here, you can see how sharp the body lines are, how flat everything is. But you know, white usually don't show that. But to me, this truck does. I mean, you can look down the side of it, you can see all the body lines in it. You can see how sharp they are, how you know how rounded these tops of these fenders are, the tops of the bed sides.
Everything's just crispy.
Things just on point on this thing. And you know, it took a lot of time to get to that point, but it was well worth it. And
right.
so,
We could have just sanded and painted the truck, but it would not look nowhere near this good.
No, I mean, you can tell when you look at this thing, it's had some time spent on it. And from a person doing in-body works perspective, I mean, the average person will look at it and not be able to tell anything about it. But if you're in this,
if you can appreciate good body work.
Yeah, I mean, appreciate the time that's been put in stuff like this. I mean, there was a lot of time, a lot of hours put in it. This truck came in here, like you seen the previous video, the front two fenders were in primer from who knows when. They were in white primer. The hood was an aftermarket cow hood. It was in like the E-coat that it gets shipped out in. And then the rest of the truck, doors back, is surface rust. This truck had been stripped like 25 years ago.
Yeah, late 90s were.
And was set outside and was never put anything. It was set outside, never had anything put on top of it. So it's sat there for 25 years and just surface rusted.
In bare metal.
In bare metal. Yeah, we first thought, you know, you could just, you know, you take and strip that rust off pretty easy.
We thought buzz over it with some 80 grit.
Yeah, you thought hit it with some 80 grit. And it's a bare metal, and we thought wrong. Like, that stuff sanded like a brick. Hardest stuff we've ever sanded.
Yeah.
So we finally got all of it stripped off. Epoxy primed the whole truck, which is bare metal. The epoxy primer kind of grabs the bare metal, etches it, and then put a high build polyester primer on top of that, body worked it, and then it got finished out 2 to 3 coats of a urethane primer. And then
that's when we start laying the color down.
That's when we started laying the paint to it. So every product we put on this truck, literally from metal conditioner up to the clear that's on it right now, everything in between that, it's all PPG stuff. That's all we've used. That's all we've ever used. And to me, that's the only
way to go.
That's the only way to do it. So, I mean, that's just what we've always used. That's what I've always used. Yeah, I mean, you can take and mix different brands together and put them on stuff, but we don't do that because you try to usually stay the same family of color brands, you know. I mean, but you can do what you want to. You paint your own truck, car, whatever it is, you know. I mean,
this is just how we've always done it.
That's just how we've done it.
This is how we will
always continue to do it. That's why this stuff looks like this, too.
That's right.
Yeah, for the most part, this truck was pretty straight. The only real body work we done was the GM factory stamping marks on this. I mean, they're not perfect when they come new. I mean, even the brand new trucks now, they're going to have body lines off. They're going to have stamping marks in them. This bed was probably the worst of that, but that's, like I said, that's just the factory. That's how they put them out. So
that and the fact that it was a truck and it was used as a truck.
Yeah, I mean,
when it was new.
They didn't build these trucks thinking 40 years later people will be doing this to them. So that's just how they're made. I mean, the biggest area was around that gas door, the front parts of the bed on each side, and then the doors had a little bit. The fenders were nearly perfect on this thing.
Extremely straight on the fenders.
Some of the best fenders I've probably ever seen on these. Tailgate was pretty good. Inside the bed, though, that was the biggest challenge on this entire truck, I would say. You probably spent at least a good 6 months off and on inside this bed floor. And we've got pictures. It's got the mat in it right now, but I've got shots of it before that. And yeah, I think you body worked the entire floor. You skimmed the entire floor of this thing.
Yes, the entire floor is skimmed.
And the tubs.
And the entire front panel and the entire tubs are skimmed and block straight.
So
The sides themselves were very nice, very straight, but the tubs, the front panel, and the floor were not, to say the least.
They are now, though.
They are now.
I can appreciate a nicely worked bed floor, especially you see one now. This is like the second or third one we've done like this. So.
Yeah. But I mean, I've left my fingertips in this bed floor here.
You've lost them in there.
I lost them.
You sanded your fingerprints off in there.
Yeah. But it's worth it. Seeing the end result.
Yeah, in the long run, it is definitely worth it. I mean,
I would much rather spend that time and have it look as nice as this one does as to just paint over dents.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, but this all comes back to you do what you want to, painting your own vehicle.
And what your goal is with your vehicle.
Or your budget.
Right.
The roof was a little bit wiggly in places.
Which the metal on these roofs are pretty thin to begin with,
Yeah.
and they're not braced very good either.
Yeah, they're not braced anything like the trucks after these. The roofs are pretty flimsy on these. That's just part of it. I mean,
But you can see just how nice and straight it is. The repaint, the body work, they look good when they're slick.
oh yeah, slicked out. And this door. I mean, this door's shut. I mean,
these have to be about the best shutting square body doors I've ever seen.
I mean, usually you got to slam the heck out of them.
Yeah, the doors on this truck shut better than our dad's all original 87 over there.
Yeah. And everything on this truck on the outside, I think, is new. I mean, body molding's new, the emblems, the mirrors were new. We cleaned them up. They had some stuff on them.
Yeah, they were new when they came into us. So
door handles, back of the cab trim, wheel opening moldings,
drip rails.
These vent windows, they got redone.
New cargo light. I mean, just everything you can put on here new, it's got it.
Yep.
And like you mentioned earlier, it come in here with a cow hood. And you can see now it has a flat hood.
Which I have nothing against the cow hood. It's just the fact that I think on these trucks the flat hood looks better.
And specifically this truck.
Yeah, this truck for sure. This hood changed this truck a whole lot. And
Right.
it was...
We got the cow hood painted, we got it on the truck, and everybody just come to the agreement that this truck needed a flat hood.
Yeah.
So we went back, and that's what we put on it.
Yeah, this was the original hood. It was different. I think it was brown, so body worked, painted it. They didn't have the hood emblem on it, so we drilled the hole, cut all that out for that, put the hood ornament on it. And to me, I mean,
That's exactly what it needs.
this is exactly how this truck needs to look. Yeah, from the last video, we had the entire inside out of it, and we put all that back in. It does have a different seat in it now. It's got a Snowden seat in it. And I mean, everything went back like it was supposed to. I mean,
Right. This blue on white does stand out
I
good.
like the blue on white.
At first, when the truck first come in here, I thought the blue might look a little off on the white, but it don't. It looks good.
Just like that, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, we put new pins and bushings in it,
It's got new strikers in
new
it.
strikers,
I mean,
and spent a lot of time adjusting the doors to get them to shut like that. But like I said, in the end, it's all worth it.
it is. It's all worth it. And this thing had, I mean, it had zero rust in it.
Just surface rust, zero rot.
I mean, this truck had, I think, about the size of a dime or a quarter underneath the tailgate back here
yeah,
that we replaced. It was literally that big. I mean, other than that, there was zero rot. It was complete surface rust in it. So this truck was not rusted out. It just had surface rust all over it.
which if you would have seen the truck just at first glance, you would have thought.
Yeah, you would have assumed it's rusted out somewhere, but it wasn't. Other than that one spot on the back of under the tailgate, on the bed brace back there. I mean, that was it. His truck was, I mean, essentially rust free. If you want to even count that, I mean,
Right.
Summit white, Olympic white, same color. That's what's on this thing. And
It's bright.
It is a bright white. To me, I like it better like this because most of the time now, your whites tend to, you know, they go toward 4 different colors. They're either green, yellow, red, or blue. They're not just straight on white most of the time. But it's way brighter white than what most of your whites are.
Right. I mean, it knock your eyes out in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after this truck was cleared, it got wet sanded, it got buffed, and I think everything did on it.
Everything, including the bed floor.
Bed floor and all. I mean, everything was wet sanded and buffed, blocked. I mean, and it turned out, it was...
It looks like a white piece of glass.
Yeah. It looks... I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but you get this truck, you can't appreciate as much in the sun. It's got to be in the shade like this, and you get it under some lights, and you can really see all the angles, the body lines of it.
Yeah, because the white is so bright out in the sun, you can't
look at it. I mean,
but
it just looks like a piece of glass.
Yeah. But I am super proud of how this truck turned out. It couldn't have turned out any better.
I don't think it could have.
So probably my favorite thing about this truck is the fact that it's a local truck. Lived its whole life right here in these 2 counties, and just to see it back on the road better than it was brand new, that alone means the world right there. Which we never seen the truck in its original form. I'm going to say the original owner sold it probably in the mid-90s-ish, and then not long after that it was stripped to bare metal. And I actually never remember the truck, but it has lived its entire life within like 2 miles of where we live. Even from the day it was bought brand new, which is kind of crazy. And really, if it wasn't for this LS swap, this thing, I can about guarantee this thing probably would have never got painted.
That, or it would have been a parts truck, or, I mean, it could have been crushed at some point.
Who knows, but yeah. But it's just super cool that this truck was bought new in the neighboring county and then lived its entire life within 2 miles of us. And like we mentioned in the first video, this 85, our dad's 87, and then the 2-tone red and black 85 that we painted right before this truck, all bought brand new in the same town, and all 3 of them within the same 2 miles of each other, lived their whole lives. So to have 3 trucks bought here local, 2 of them redone, and our dad still in his original form over there, that's just crazy. We're going to have to get these 3 out together or something sometime.
Yeah.
So like we mentioned earlier, this is a local truck, lived its entire life 2 miles away from where we live. And when this thing come into the shop, we said, how cool would it be to get this thing done and park it back at the original owner's house where it's set for most of its life. And as you can see, here we are. Obviously, it looks like nobody lives here, but yeah, this is where this truck, after it was bought new, this is where it lived every day of its life. So you could have drove by in '85 and seen this thing sitting here, or drive by 40 years later and see it sitting here today. It looks a little different now, but
a full circle moment.
It is full circle.
Big circle though,
yeah,
but
very big circle. But it's the stuff like this that is just, I find really cool, that this being a local truck and it's back here where it used to be all the time. And as we said when we first took this project on, when we figured out what truck this was, we said, man, it'd be so cool to get this thing done looking better than it did brand new and park it right here where it used to sit all the time. So,
which this was before our time too. So
yeah, we wasn't around in '85, obviously.
We never seen this truck before it came to us to get painted. So
right,
we were just told it lived here.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up on this 2.5 year project here. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. Really makes me want to white 85 to 7, but it is what it is. Yeah, closing the chapter on this thing. Couldn't be more happy with how it turned out.
But just back in the same yard this truck sat in for, I guess, probably 20 years, and it's back out here.
Who knows how many times this thing drove in and out of this driveway.
I know, it's
this little gravel drive right here. But, yep, that's going to wrap it up on this 85 square body here. And this was a fun one. A little challenging at times, but it was fun.
Hey, this right here, though, makes it all worth it.
Yeah, this is the really fun part when it's after it's done. We appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you on the next one.